6-year-old Emilie Parker attended school in Rio Rancho before her family moved to Connecticut last year. Then the unthinkable happened. Emilie was one of 20 first graders killed at Sandy Hook Elementary in a senseless crime, and now her mom and dad, together with other Newtown parents, are leading the initiative to improve school safety standards. And I'm so thankful to say that Alissa and Robbie Parker join us this morning. Thank you both so much for being here. I know this is a tough thing to do, and just my heart goes out to you, and I thank you for sharing this with all of us today.
Thank you for having
So
us.
thank you for being here, and welcome back to New Mexico this week.
Thank
Now,
you.
Alissa, I want to talk first about the fact that you say after the shooting that you personally, you immediately regretted not pointing out some of the security gaps that you had noticed at Sandy Hook Elementary School. So how did security fall short? Can you share that with us?
You know, first off, Sandy Hook is and always will be an amazing school. What Sandy Hook failed to do is what, unfortunately, most schools in the United States are failing to do, which is ask themselves the question, what if this really happened in our school? Are we ready and are we prepared, and do we know how to respond?
Because it seems like a nightmare. It seems like it could never be a reality.
Right. And it always seems like something that happens to someone else.
Exactly.
And so that's where the gap is that people really don't ever consider, is this really going to happen to us, and if we're ready and we're prepared. And unfortunately, that's what happened at Sandy Hook.
And now we want to get them prepared. So tell us a little bit about this safety program that you and other Sandy Hook parents and families are starting.
Well, it all began around a kitchen table where we sat around saying, what do we feel needs to be talked about? What do we feel like is lacking in conversations around the country? And we felt like school safety was just not being addressed in the way that we felt like it deserved.
Absolutely.
And we said, what can we do? We feel so passionate about this. How do we help the problem? And what it comes down to is true change happens in each community. And that is where it begins.
Where it starts, yeah.
And how do we help spread what we have learned and what we have learned from experts to those communities to empower them and inspire them to make real changes in their school.
Gosh, I'm just so glad you're doing this. And so let's start like this. Let's tell people what 5 questions that they would need to ask their local schools to ensure their kids' safety. What would be 5 questions that you would recommend?
I would say, first off, how easy is it to get into your school? What is the access points?
Okay.
How easy is it? Second, once you get in the school, how easy is it to access the children in the classrooms? Also, what was some of the other ones that we talked about?
Just if your school's done a security assessment.
Yes, if your school's done a security
Okay.
assessment. What are the findings from your security assessment? We feel like that is the most paramount thing that a
Sure
school can
is.
do is get a security assessment. Also going and asking what are the plans and procedures for a lockdown situation or an intruder
Being
coming into your
prepared.
school, and being prepared and knowing as parents, what are we supposed to do to help and how do we respond in that?
Okay.
Because that was something we didn't know. We had no idea what we were
Who would
supposed
think you
to
would
do.
have to?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I mean, so this is the starting point. And again, I just thank you for sharing this because, again, I don't think people are thinking about these things. And now,
Right.
because of what you've been through, they are. And so now school safety legislation needs to do more for the local community. So what would you say for Sandy Hook moving forward and for all school communities?
So what's nice about what we're trying to do is we're trying to really empower parents and communities to realize that the responsibility falls on them.
Yes.
And that if you wait around for legislation to happen to make a change, it's not going to happen the way that we want it to. So we really just want to empower parents to take the initiative and realize that your responsibility as a parent extends beyond just dropping your kid off at school on time.
Good.
That you need to make sure that your school is as safe as your home. And when you put your kids someplace, that you've done everything you can to ensure their safety. And so
point.
what we really want to do is give parents the power to realize and start to ask these kind of questions that we didn't take that next step in asking. We did realize that there was security shortcomings at different places that we've been, but we never took it past that. We never asked that next step. We never asked what if, or what is it that we can do, or how are we going to address this?
And now because of you, more people will. And I want to mention to our viewers that you're actually in Albuquerque in part to dedicate a garden in memory of Emilie. Can you tell us about that?
So she went to Maggie Cordova Elementary up in Rio Rancho, and that the whole area up there was just so supportive of us, and
I bet.
they were just so
They were
wonderful.
amazing.
And so they wanted to do something to remember Emilie, and because of the way that she touched their lives, and it was really meaningful for us, and we wanted to make sure that we were here for that. And so they did plant a tree, and Emilie always complained about the sun here, and that there wasn't enough shade. And so, so the fact that they wanted to plant a tree for her was something that was actually really touching and meaningful to us.
Because she just wanted more shade.
Exactly.
And so it was very fitting that they put something to give children more shade at the school.
And then a garden is just something that's so Emilie. She was so vibrant, and when you think of her and in her life, she was just alive, and she was full of color, and and so a garden is something that resembles her so well. So we wanted to make sure that we were able to support them and show our gratitude and thank them for all the love and support that they've given to us.
She's just a beautiful, beautiful, precious angel. And we just, our hearts go out to you, but I know you also have 2 other beautiful, special daughters. How are Samantha and Madeline doing?
You know, they're just the same as us. They're doing okay. They have their good days and they have their bad days, just like we do, and we're moving forward, but it's going to be a long road. It really is. And, you know, it's just, nothing is going to be fast. And we have to be patient with ourselves and realize that it's going to be a day at a time for a long time.
Well, you don't only have support from the local communities, but I think you have support from the whole nation. And we thank you so much for joining us and sharing your personal story and sharing the beautiful Emilie with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you
Thanks a
for
bunch.
bringing awareness, and let's keep those kids safe. Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll be right back.